Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News.
According to the World Health Organization, 800,000 people commit suicide every year, and only 28 countries have a national strategy for suicide prevention. Our next guest, Lanre Olusola, also known as a catalyst, has created a concept with 4 steps to building emotional immunity, focused on helping Nigerians avoid and overcome depression or suicide. Could this be the key or the start to Nigeria's national strategy for suicide prevention? Welcome to the morning show, Lanre.
Yes.
Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Last time I think we met in Accra.
Yes.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. So you've created this platform to raise awareness, and tell us a little bit about how you came up with this platform.
Well, I was with a client, and she was going through bouts of depression, and she had attempted suicide a couple of times.
Wow.
And all through the world, psychologists and neuroscientists have talked about dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins as the feel-good hormones, but they have never arranged it as dose, D-O-S-E.
Okay.
And so it just dropped into my spirit. Why don't we talk about, boosting your dose of dose? Everybody understands medication, right? And the fact that, you have to take medication in doses, everyone can get that. And if the body has its own natural medication to keep you happy, to keep you motivated, to keep you building your emotional immunity, why don't we get people to understand exactly what they need to do? And the fact that we have the power and the control to release those chemicals, to release those hormones on a daily basis, to have our happy hormones in the right dosage so that we can overcome the programs, the paradigms, the thoughts, and the lifestyle and the chemicals that work against us. And so, boosting your dose of dose is simply, a response to the craziness that is going on in society today.
But to break it down for people who are listening to us, what exactly causes depression?
Wow.
And is it logical that depression, either mild or chronic, will lead to suicide?
Well, research has proven that depression is the #1 cause of suicide, okay? It is also known that women are more depressed than men.
Okay.
And, twice more women are more depressed than men, but men commit more suicide than women. You see, you cannot match emotions and logic. They just don't
Match.
They can't match. And so it's impossible for us to think about it logically. Why would someone in his right thinking mind commit suicide? It is very important that we realize that, someone that is depressed or clinically depressed and at the verge of suicide, that person is not functioning properly. That person is dysfunctional.
So what we're dealing with really is mental health.
Mental health.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Well, yeah, from your work, what's your reaction, your attitude, your take about how the Nigerian government has treated, the mental health aspect of medicine? I mean, if you look at Nigeria, we don't even have up to 100 psychiatrists who are working. Okay, we don't even have our mental hospitals are not even well catered for. The departments of psychiatry in the regular specialist hospitals are not well provided for. What do you think government should do? Because we're talking about a national strategy.
Right.
You see, it is important that we recognize how important mental health is, because mental health is the catalyst and trigger for even medical health. Now, it is important for us to recognize that 85 to 95% of all disease is caused by stress. And stress is the result of, the fact that you cannot manage and stimulus in your environment psychologically and emotionally. Okay? So what are we saying? We're saying that if you cannot manage things psychologically, emotionally, right, it will bring about stress, and stress will bring about 85 to 95% of disease. Which means that we're going to have, people breaking down in physical health. Productivity will drop, performance will drop. The entire system will not be functioning properly. And so government needs to look at it from a holistic perspective, not from an isolated perspective.
A healthy people, a healthy nation.
That's
That's what you're saying.
That's it. So we need to first of all understand what is the mental health state of our nation. And we were talking politics, right, earlier on. It shows you that, you know, people are insecure. People don't have a sense of belongingness. There, you know, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there are some basic needs that we must have in society. And if those basic needs are missing, right, it would affect the people. We need to understand that Nigeria is not a geographical space. Nigeria is you and I. If you and I are not okay, Nigeria is not okay. And so the government needs to understand, right, that we need to be okay. And we need to invest in people being psychological and emotionally okay.
Yeah, earlier on you talked about the dose,
Yes.
correct? Can you enlighten us on that topic?
All right, so there are 4 critical happy hormones that keep you, you know, emotionally stable and give you emotional immunity.
Okay.
They make you happy. One is dopamine, right? The second is oxytocin. The third is serotonin, and the last is endorphins. If you have the right dose of that in your system, you will be motivated, you will have emotional immunity, you'll be able to resist a lot of stress and handle things that hitherto people that are depressed or people with low emotional immunity cannot handle. Now, it is very important that we realize this single factor. CNN did a research and realized that Lagos State is the world's the 3rd most stressful city. Lagos State, after Afghanistan and Syria.
Wow.
The implication of that is that Afghanistan and Syria are war-torn nations.
situations, right?
Now, in Lagos State, there is no physical war, but there's psychological and emotional
And that is
battle.
stress,
Yeah.
correct?
If you notice when you are traveling and you're in the air, when you enter the Lagos airspace, you begin to reposition. You begin to
The
readjust.
skyline itself reconditions you.
Yeah, you begin to adjust. When you land in the airport,
Very true.
Omo, you must reconsider your swags
Yes, very true.
because you need to adjust. So there's so much physical stress, environmental stress, that is creating psychological and emotional stress.
And it's good that you brought up the issue of Lagos. I mean,
Right.
in recent times, we've been having cases of people jumping into the lagoon.
Correct.
I mean, the Third Mainland Bridge has become a suicide axis.
Right.
You know, and, but this was not the case in the past.
Right.
Many Nigerians are in fact concerned that in the last 3-4 years, we've had increased cases of people jumping into the lagoon in Nigeria. What do you think is responsible for this? Because what we used to hear is that, oh, life is so sweet in Nigeria that an average Nigerian would not like to kill himself or herself. But that has changed. And people don't even realize that suicide attempt is a felony. If you succeed, yes, you are fine, you are dead, you are dead. But if you attempt it and you fail,
Right.
you could go to jail.
I mean, we need to revisit that law because the guy that is at the point of suicide is not okay.
He's mental,
right?
correct.
And so the law needs to change. If someone that is insane kills someone, there's a provision of the law for that.
Right.
There has to be a
Under
provision.
criminal law.
Yeah,
Right.
there has to be a
Insanity
provision
is
of the
offense.
law for someone that is at the point of committing suicide. Look, you have come to a place of complete despondency.
Yes.
A place of complete hopelessness where the choice of killing yourself is better than the choice of staying alive. That
correct.
person is not okay.
No.
So you are compounding his issues. But if we're looking at Lagos, why are people committing a lot more suicide in Lagos, right?
Yeah.
It is, we've talked about the stress levels. People are incapable of dealing with a lot of those stressors. And some of those stressors are financial. So there was that banker that drove himself to see the priest. And after he saw the priest, he shot himself. There are wealthy people, well-to-do middle-class people that drive their jeeps to Third Mainland Bridge and dive into Third Mainland Bridge, right? Now, what is the implication of that? There's something in psychology that we call the Weathers effect.
Right.
The Weathers effect states that the higher the success rate of suicide and the more publicized it is, the higher the bias rate, which means that people will try it. So you would find out that after every suicide case has been publicized, more people will try.
Yeah.
And so
There was
media.
one boy who jumped into the lagoon. They rescued him. He said they should allow him to die.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Now, you touched on the 4 aspects of your dose. So how do we balance that, and how do we, what do we need to do to realize that we have an imbalance in those?
I mean, once you begin to show certain symptoms,
Right.
you know, you are consistently sad, unhappy, you are consistently thinking about what's not working for
Right.
you, you are moody, you don't want to see people, you are no longer interested in a lot of the things that you used to be interested in, and you're beginning to experience symptoms that would lead
Withdrawal symptoms.
Right.
to depression. Now, there's certain things, there's 37 things that you need to do.
Okay.
You know, number 1 is you need to eat healthy, you need to exercise. So these are illustrations of the things that we're showing on social media. The campaign is over 37 days to share the things that people can do.
Very nice.
You know, on a daily basis.
Okay.
So number 1 is take food supplements, because you know what? The food that we eat now does not give you the right nutrients that boost, you know, your immunity level. Number 2 is you must exercise. It is
Okay.
very, very critical to exercise. Number 3 is you must meditate on a daily basis.
What is that, prayers?
Meditation is
Just-
when, you know, you come to a place of focus where you calm your mind, you eliminate all the noise
As
on
in
the
yoga.
outside. It's
In
not
yoga.
yoga.
Yoga can help too.
I mean, yoga is a form of meditation.
Okay.
I mean, you can sit, you can lie down in your bed and just cancel all the noise.
Like turn off the light, close the doors, put a pillow
And
over your head sometimes.
Just focus
maybe
on
you
a
just
scripture,
focus, right?
focus on a motivational word, focus on something that will keep you motivated and calm.
Okay.
It is very, very
And
important.
so that's number 3. What's
You
number
listen
4?
to good soul music.
Oh,
Not
wow.
bang, 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 jim, jim, jim. Now the bang, 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 jim, jim,
No,
jim.
no
is-
science student, idol music.
no, that is very important
Oh.
because also dancing is also another tip.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
But in terms of, you know, music that calms you down, you need to listen to soul music.
Okay.
Because, you know, music is so powerful. You were talking about musicians, right? I say music and musicians, they are so powerful, you know, that they alter our lifestyle,
Correct.
right? So music does not require your permission to invade your soul.
That's true.
You know, once you listen to one track now, right, in another few hours, you find yourself singing it. So there are a few tips. There are 37 of them.
Yeah.
And how are we doing this? On social media, on my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, and my handle is at Lanre Olusola, no H in the Olusola, at Lanre Olusola. If you follow me, you will get a tip a day for free for the next 37 days. Now, besides that, the Life Coaches Association of Nigeria and my coaching academy, we have set up a coaching platform where we have 100 coaches
Okay.
that are going to coach you for free in 4 critical areas of your life. Number 1, life and success. Number 2, stress and emotions. Number 3, your finance, career. And number 4, you know, we're looking at a critical area of your relationship and your marriage. These are the 4 most critical areas that people fail in that lead them to depression and attempted suicide.
Well,
All
thank
very
you very much,
informative.
Lanre. This has been really, really
Yes.
enlightening.
Well-
That's all from Lanre. It's time now for a short break. When we return, Kunle Fakaya, the director of FA Management, will be joining us on the show to discuss the art of selling. Stay with us.